Hello everyone, have you seen the headlines about Donald Trump's new promise to give most Americans a $2,000 tariff dividend? It's one of the boldest ideas in his 2025 economic plan, and it's already stirring major discussion across the country. The former president says his administration's new wave of tariffs will generate trillions of dollars, and he wants to return some of that money directly to working and middle-class Americans. Not the wealthy. Trump's pitch is simple. By taxing imported goods from countries like China, Mexico, and others, the U.S. can collect billions and revenues strengthen domestic manufacturing and share that wealth back with the people in the form of a $2,000 payment per person. Now, here's where the details get interesting. Economists point out that the federal government collected around $195 billion in tariff revenue last year, far less than what would be needed to fund this plan. To send $2,000 to every qualifying American adult would cost roughly $600 billion a year, or around $6 trillion over a decade. That's about 3 times what the U.S. currently brings in from all tariffs combined. For Trump's math to work, tariff collections would need to skyrocket, meaning either much higher import taxes, broader coverage on foreign products, or both. Trump hasn't yet defined exactly how the dividend would be distributed. It could come as a direct payment, similar to a stimulus check, or as a refundable tax credit. He's also said that high-income people wouldn't qualify, though the income cutoff hasn't been specified. Supporters say the idea would reward hardworking Americans and make sure that the benefits of trade policies flow back to citizens instead of staying in Washington. They argue that countries sending goods to the U.S. should help fund the prosperity of American families. However, critics warn that tariffs don't actually make foreign companies pay. They make American consumers pay higher prices. When import costs rise, companies often pass those costs on to shoppers, leading to inflation. That means, while some people might receive a $2,000 check, they could also face higher prices on everyday goods like cars, clothes, electronics, and groceries. Analysts also caution that tariffs constrain global supply chains, provoke retaliation from trading partners, and potentially hurt U.S. exporters. Legally, the plan faces questions too. Tariff powers have limits under U.S. law, and courts are already reviewing whether the president can unilaterally impose broad new tariffs under emergency powers. Even if the revenue existed, Congress would still need to approve any dividend payments. So for now, the tariff dividend is more of a proposal than a guaranteed policy. Politically, though, it's a powerful message. Trump is reframing tariffs, once seen as taxes that raise prices, into a populist tool for wealth redistribution. Instead of calling it a tax, he's calling it a dividend for the American people. It ties together his themes of economic nationalism, America First manufacturing, and putting U.S. workers ahead of global competitors. For voters who remember pandemic-era stimulus checks, the idea of another $2,000 payment could sound appealing, especially if it is framed as foreign countries footing the bill. Still, the big question remains: can the math and the markets support it? If the tariffs don't bring in enough revenue, the government might have to borrow more or cut spending elsewhere. And if global trade partners retaliate with their own tariffs, U.S. exports could take a hit. So while the $2,000 tariff dividend sounds like free money for Americans, the reality could be far more complicated. In the end, Trump's 2025 economic plan is making one thing clear. He's betting big on tariffs as the engine of growth, jobs, and now, direct cash for Americans. Whether it becomes a real policy or stays a political promise will depend on Congress, the courts, and the balance between economic reality and political ambition. So, what do you think? Is the tariff dividend a smart way to turn global trade into a benefit for everyday Americans? Or just another big idea that might cost more than it pays?